Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato random run. At this point, I think you probably know the drill. We pick a random class and a random weapon and try to beat Danger 5. Hope you're all doing well and excited for this one. I am going to spoil the results of the last video and whether or not we're on a win streak, so if you haven't seen that one, then definitely hop back and check it out before you get spoiled, but here goes. So we won the last one. We're on a 3-game winning streak, which feels a lot better, and are now at 4 wins out of 5 played, so 80%. Definitely much closer to where I want to be. Let's see if we can continue to increase that win streak. Alright, so random class. We get the Soldier. Soldier's pretty interesting. I'm kind of hoping that we get like Knife or Wand or something really wild that we have to use with Soldier. Obviously, all of the gun builds are going to play a little bit similarly, but I'll try to differentiate them by picking that specific gun, depending on what guns we get. And then Taser is also kind of weird because only being able to attack while standing still means that the Taser is not going to be slowing enemies, but also will have trouble killing enemies. So let's see what we get. Alright, we're another support elemental build. So let's see what we can make happen with this. Taser, I think, is really interesting for the Soldier, because we are going to really struggle with damage, especially in the sort of mid-game before our Tasers have picked up in terms of damage output. Obviously, the attack speed and damage buffs are really good for Soldier, but at a certain point, I think we're going to fall behind. We're never going to be able to burst down enemies like you really want to with the Soldier. Let's see what we can make happen. Oh god, we attack so slow even with the Soldier attack speed buff. I'm totally okay just taking a hit here. It feels pretty bad that we're like taking hits. Just not able to kill stuff fast enough. Alright, I'm just going to take elemental damage here. I wouldn't mind getting harvesting going, but we'll get that from our support weapons, and it, I think, is going to be so important to get our elemental damage up early. Let's buy another Taser, definitely lock this bag. And something that was pointed out to me in my previous video that I really should be doing when I'm going for a Taser build, and that I always forget to do, is buying these hands. So hand increases our support tag, which means we're getting 5 harvesting from this, and we get 3 harvesting. We'll sell it later to go into more Tasers, but we definitely want to be getting our support tag going as soon as possible. So buying hand here I actually really like, so we're gonna buy that. I'm not gonna lock a pruner to buy. Actually, maybe I should, because I can still re-roll into another weapon, a support weapon. So if I lock a pruner, lock this boiling water, because we want to increase elemental damage, and then roll again. I was really hoping we'd hit another support weapon there, but I think we are going to be relatively good at that. And of course, we'll sell these weapons later, but this way we get our harvesting going so much faster. Let me get in range of this tree so I can make sure I'm killing it. Also, any points we get in elemental damage are so valuable because we're the Soldier, so I'm going to keep buying that as soon as I see it. And then I don't mind speed on Soldier, but overall this is not very good. Range actually is going to be more useful on Soldier than it is on many other characters because we can't move, or more useful on this build of the Soldier than it is on most other Soldier builds as well, because we can't move and because Tasers have a very low range. That said, I think we can do better, so I'm just going to re-roll this, and I'll just keep taking harvesting, I think, when it's this early. Grab this because it's a support weapon, and re-roll. I'm going to grab this hand, and then re-roll again, because I still would like to get Tasers locked and upgraded. So this, I think, is pretty good. We've got all of these weapons. I'm, of course, going to be selling them, but we've already got our 6 support weapons online, meaning that at going into the end of Wave 2, which is incredible to have 6 weapons already, we've got 37 harvesting, so this is going to really start taking off. I'll sell out of the pruners and then the hands, just because hands have native harvesting. And as always, the rule for this build is we need to use these weapons, so I'm going to definitely transition to a Taser or Elemental build. But this is one of the best ways, I think, to use Taser and really increases the power level of Taser. It's a cool trick that I have not been using enough, so very happy to get to show it off. Recycle the cog, we're not going to need the engineering at all. Do I want just 6% speed? I think I will just take that. And then here, I'm just going to take luck. I'm actually trying to avoid taking too much in the way of, like, doing too much in the way of re-rolling, because I really want to save up money to start getting stuff that's really important to the build. So here I'm going to recycle the pruner and buy the Taser. I think you could also just not do that in many versions of this build, but of course we are the random version, which has to use Tasers, so we're going to do that for sure. And then I'll sacrifice 2 speed for an armor here. Reroll, because we also get a free reroll from that. Let me grab this coffee. Attack speed is going to be quite valuable. And then, do I want to start building... Well, I don't want to buy butterfly because it reduces my elemental damage, but one question is, do I want lifesteal or do I want regen for this character? Soldier is slightly worse with lifesteal than most ranged builds, and tasers are pretty bad for lifesteal because of the low range, so there's actually a consideration as to which we want. We do also get massive extra pickup range, which means Cute Monkey has more value than normal, so we're definitely going to grab that. Oh, I was just out of range of that. These enemies will sit just outside of your taser range, so you really have to tap move into them. I need to be a little careful now because I've taken a few more hits than I should have. And on Soldier, you really want to not have to reposition too often. No, we're never going to get that loot alien. Our damage is low and the knockback is going to push him away. I'm going to grab this armor here. And then I don't want Weird Ghost. Weird Ghost is too hard to play on Soldier with this build. I mean, on a normal Soldier build, it would be excellent. But on this build, I think it's going to be bad because our damage is low and our range is low. So I will be looking to pick up better range as we go. I'm going to sell this hand, or I guess combine it for some extra harvesting, and buy the flamethrower, because of course we are an elemental build, and that is going to be really good. We do lose a little bit of harvesting, but we get it back from this hand, so that's really excellent, and I'll lock the dangerous bunny as well. I could re-roll here to see if I can upgrade a taser, maybe get a better hand upgrade, but I'm not going to buy this hand upgrade, because these we only picked up for our support tag, so I'm going to sell this as soon as I can. So, instead of re-rolling, I'm just going to save my 8. Flamethrower is less valuable on this character than on many elemental builds, because we can't easily... Like, the attack speed doesn't do anything particularly for Flamethrower, and we can't easily set it and forget it in terms of the fire, but it's still going to be very good. Any elemental build wants to transition to Flamethrower. Also, the knockback, the soldier knockback on Flamethrower is actually really fun. This is actually doing quite a lot of work. Normally, knockback is not terribly useful, but on Flamethrower specifically, it's actually pretty cool. Here, I'm actually just going to take the range. This is kind of an interesting build for me because knockback and range are having quite a lot of impact on our build, normally stats that I ignore, but in this build, I think they're actually quite powerful. I'm just going to take the health here. Ooh, rocket launcher would be fun, but we're definitely not that kind of character, so let's buy this, reroll. Still looking for another taser so we can finally replace this hand, but I will buy these two and roll again. And elemental damage for speed. I mean, we do want as much elemental damage as we can. And I'm also going to get the Scar here. We have really good harvesting already, so Scar has more value, and it's very powerful, I think, for this character. If we get it on wave 6, it's going to be quite valuable. Yeah, I'm liking the flamethrower knockback. Obviously, we would love a snake, scared sausage, and so on. Those are really great for this build. The extra range is also really coming in handy here. You see that guy go flying across the map. This is, I hit it with the hand, I think, which just also has its own knockback, plus the soldier knockback. Hand-only soldier would actually be kind of fun, too. I also answered my question from earlier, where I was wondering if I wanted lifesteal or health regen, but of course we have a flamethrower, which is the best weapon in the game with lifesteal, so we want lifesteal for sure. 9% crit chance already. Crit is not going to be useful unless we get the Giant's Belt, but it is quite valuable with the Giant's Belt. I think, though, I'm just going to go with 15 luck here. It's early enough that the luck is going to be quite strong, so I'm just going to grab that, and then I will upgrade my elemental damage, upgrade my XP, probably just buy all of these things. We don't care about range damage at all. There we go, we get a Taser, and I'm also going to upgrade my pickup range, get another free reroll. Statue is also quite good on Soldier. It's the only one of these while standing still items that's good, but it is very powerful because the bonus attack speed is really strong. So I'm going to reroll that. Lock this other Taser. Do I want this duct tape? I think not badly enough to lock it. I would take it maybe, but as an item to lock, I don't think it's worth picking up. This is yet another one of these builds that is going much better than I thought it would. I need some lifesteal and some more max HP, of course. But I thought this was going to be a weird sort of anti-synergistic build. And some of it is that we found all those hands early. But this is actually more fun than I was expecting so far. With our flamethrower, I guess we're doing a little Apocalypse Now cosplay. Getting pretty good harvesting. When it's free, I will usually just take the landmines. They can like break trees for us and stuff. And here I'm just going to take max HP. I want all of these stats, but right now I think our max HP is the most important thing. I'm going to sell this hand. It has served us well, but upgrading my tasers is more important to the build. Buy this as well, re-roll here, and then we can keep upgrading the tasers. Roll once more, grab a bag here, that's awesome, and I'm not going to throw in one more re-roll, because I don't think it would save us money even if I locked something. But the statue, we definitely now need to increase my speed, but our attack speed is actually quite strong, so that will be helpful. Additional range and additional light and any lifesteal in addition to like just the max HP and damage that we always need are the things that we need the most. Even up to like 5% lifesteal would be a huge boost to this character. But yeah, the knockback from the soldier plus the slow from the tasers means that a lot of these smaller enemies are just not able to ever reach us. Also, obviously, the best thing for this build would be Snake, because it's always just incredible with Flamethrower. Definitely taking this max HP. Yeah, I'll keep taking more max HP. I'm going to reroll this. I wouldn't mind the 1 elemental damage, but we've already got 10, and I'm really looking for lifesteal or anything like that. I'm going to reroll this also. There we go, 2% lifesteal, that's fine. Just want to start boosting that as soon as I can. And I'll take 3 elemental damage. I'm going to grab this lemonade for sure. Just going to upgrade the flamethrower here. I don't want to cost myself more harvesting, and higher level flamethrowers are better than multiples usually. Yeah, I want to boost my speed because we lowered it significantly, and I'm going to continue to try to boost my speed with the warrior helmet, going to continue to try to boost my consumable healing with lemonade. Consumable healing, of course, always good on soldier with the bonus pickups radius. Maybe alien tongue is not needed on this character, but pickup range is one of those stats that scales pretty well with itself because it increases the radius, which means the area that you're covering is significantly larger the more radius you have. I obviously want warrior helmet, although I will again need to boost my speed. And we'll keep buying luck. I'm going to skip on the peacock. I think there's more important stuff to buy. This build is honestly really sweet. I'm really enjoying it, actually. It's really fun that I have been finding so many builds that are just really cool and fun to play. That are way outside of the normal way that I play this game. One of the really fun things about this random challenge, and one of the reasons I've been enjoying doing it so much. Have to get in range of the tree. Yeah, with our statue attack speed, any lifesteal we have is so much healing. No, there's no way I can kill that guy in time. That's the worst part about playing soldier and like elemental builds, is that you can't kill loot aliens. I'm gonna recycle this riposte and definitely just take 3% lifesteal. Here I'm going to reroll, I think. Our attack speed is going to be really strong already. And actually I'm going to take 60 range. I wouldn't mind elemental damage or dodge, but I actually think that range is incredibly valuable for this character, and I'm very happy to just keep picking that up. Because our weapons are low range, and we have to stand still all the time. So while normally that's a stat I suggest avoiding, I think on this character it's quite good. Take the metal detector. I do need to boost my percent damage a little, because that's getting pretty low. And ritual is a good way to do it. I think I am going to do better with community support than with ritual to start. And I want to boost my speed back up to positive, but I definitely want both of those. So we'll take both of these and then go to the next wave. HP actually looking pretty good for this point in the game, 60 already. So armor and dodge, of course. A little more lifesteal, although given that we're using a flamethrower and have tons of attack speed, our lifesteal is going to be fairly serviceable. Fighting elites will still be hard, because we're a soldier and an elemental build, and both of those typically have trouble with elites. But I'm hopeful that we can make that work just with our lifesteal. And having good consumable heal at this point helps a lot as well. Also, the double cute monkey has been worth a lot of healing. Trying to like tap my move keys to just move over, get out of the way, dodge everything. Our first elite is going to be a real test for this character, but other than that, it's going pretty well. Yeah, I'll take the crown. Our harvesting has not taken off quite the way that I hoped it would, but it's still doing well. I'm actually going to pass on this statue. Even more attack speed I don't think we need, and the minus 10% speed is going to be pretty bad here. I will take the lifesteal, I think, is more important than the damage. No, I've got a ritual locked, so I'm going to take the damage, actually. And I was immediately rewarded by getting a whetstone, which helps boost our lifesteal over 10 anyways, which is kind of where I wanted to hit. Wow, okay, so I did want to increase our... I did obviously want to increase our range, and losing some pickup range also hurts, but 10 elemental damage, I mean, that's just too good to pass up. And I will definitely take the... I guess I'll just take the whetstone and lock these two. Now we've got 15% lifesteal, so our healing is great, and we've got 26 elemental damage, so our damage should be pretty solid as well. Feeling very good about this one. Also, really love that we just like push these guys across the map. Again, snake would still be ideal. Normally with flamethrower you want to be constantly moving to make sure your flamethrower is not hitting the same enemy all the time, but the soldier's knockback, which we can't do, but the soldier's knockback does kind of simulate that, so we end up like pushing the enemies away and then our flamethrower retargets onto another enemy. I would at this point, I think, take a second flamethrower just to make sure that we're spreading the fire around, because especially without Snake, we're having a little bit of trouble catching everything on fire. Scared Sausage I would also really like to see, and then we could use some additional... any additional constructs we found. I'll take the Fairy here. That's going to be pretty good regeneration. And then here, we don't need any of these. I'm going to reroll, and I'll just take elemental damage. That's great. Obviously, upgrade our tasers. Buy the Ugly Tooth. That will help, of course, against elites. Our dodge is not going to go up that much, so I'll take some HP and roll. Vigilante Ring is going to be excellent as well, and I'll take Sharp Bullet here, because, of course, piercing, very nice for all of these weapons. Vigilante Ring won't be a ton of damage, but our percent damage is really bad at this point, so upgrading that is going to be really important. And I think I'm just going to pass here. There's nothing else that we'd be able to afford easily, so I'm just going to go to wave 12 and see if we can take out this elite. Alright, this is the easiest elite for the soldier to fight, because you want to stand still anyways. You just move in this little triangle. And this is like the standing still is the normal attack pattern against the crocodile anyways. You move in a triangle and then stop. Once you're outside, I've screwed it up a couple times, but once you're outside the direction of its charge, you just stop moving, which is what the soldier wants to do anyways. So that elite should usually be free for soldier, since it follows the tap movement that you want to use against that elite is the same as the tap movement that you want to use just in general on the soldier, so you don't have to change your strategy at all. Elites that actually charge directly at you are much harder for the soldier. No, there's just no way I can kill the loot aliens. We've let so many loot aliens live. I'll take the turret again if we find Scared Sausage. That'll be valuable, and sure, I'll take more regeneration. Now our HP regeneration is actually a real component of our build as well. And I'm going to start building dodge, because I do want to start boosting that at some point. Buy this, I'll buy this. Not going to buy the plant. Even though our regeneration is real, obviously our lifesteal is still more important. I'm going to pass on small magazine. Roll again. Like I said, I do want to start upgrading, or buy a second flamethrower, in part because of my lifesteal. So I'm going to buy this flamethrower. We'll combine, I think, rather than sell. Just more total levels. Even though this is not going to be more damage in and of itself, it's still good. And I'll buy this leather vest. Roll one more time, see if we can lock anything. Definitely locking the snake. I'm not going to take candle, even though we use elemental damage. We do have pretty good elemental damage, and the nuclear launcher is the soldier's native weapon. So I'm tempted to use that. I did also just do one where we transitioned to a nuclear launcher. But, I don't know, it's an elemental damage build using tasers, and tasers do want to transition into these other kinds of weapons as we go. So, nuclear launcher, I think, is going to be fine. And it's the soldier's weapon of choice. Do I want to spend 4 dodge on 8 HP? I think not badly enough to lock the acid here. That being said, if I don't find a flamethrower upgrade, I might swap out the second flamethrower for the nuclear launcher rather than a taser, just to make sure we're still following the spirit of the challenge. But I think going into an elemental build off tasers is definitely following the spirit of the random weapon challenge. We already played this build pretty weirdly, so I'm not feeling like I've violated the spirit of the build at all. Oh, can we kill a loot alien? Hey, we got one. Need to set it on fire early and often. Trying to make my way over here, kill this tree. There's another loot alien, but neither of my flamethrowers targeted it. Even on soldier, you should just avoid barricade. Losing speed is bad, and the 8 armor while standing still is just not worth it. And then Do I just want 3% crit chance? I can start building some crit chance. I'll accept losing 1 HP here. I'm going to re-roll this. Harvesting would be fine, but I think we can do better. Yeah, I'll take some armor. Alright, so here's the question. What of these am I allowed to buy and still be following the rules of the challenge? Do I sell the level 2 flamethrower? I think I'm fine just selling this taser. We're still an elemental build. And this is just a really fun build. It looks totally... it just looks really fun to play to me, so I'm gonna do what I think is gonna be most awesome. Nuclear launcher is also just so much fun with soldier, because nuclear launcher mostly just wants attack speed, and you get so much attack speed on soldier. Very curious what the damage output of these weapons is going to be at the end of this round, so hopefully I remember to check that. The tasers were also really helpful setting us up for sort of economic success during the middle waves when we were having a little trouble clearing. So, I really think this build is a lot better than it looks. Soldier's native damage output helps mitigate the normal downside of Taser, which is that you can't kill stuff with it. And then the tasers also help with the soldier's problems by giving you a bunch of extra harvesting. I'm going to take the Weird Ghost. We have really good regeneration and stuff, so I'm not too worried about that, even though I think we're going into an elite wave. Then I'll just take some max HP here. We're going into a horde wave, so yeah, we should be totally fine. Keep upgrading my lifesteal. Up to 20% or so is still pretty good. I'll take the compass, even though we lose some crit chance. I do want to be boosting my speed a little more. Here, we're going to combine these two and keep upgrading tasers, buy a broken mouth, and roll. Still don't want a second statue, just because the move speed loss is too painful. I've already rolled twice, so I'm going to pass and go into the next wave. I had a moment of, like, panic there where I was like, did I forget buying a bloody hand or something when I started the wave at 1 HP? Am I going to have to post a video of me just starting the wave, taking a 1 point of blood donation damage and dying? That's the brutal thing about this challenge, is if I die in a really dumb way, I still have to post it, so... The class guides, if I die in a stupid way, I can just not post it. Not that I've done that a lot, but it has happened. But since I've committed to, posting every video in this series... Oh, I totally forgot to check my damage output, but we'll do that at the end of this wave. Alright, let's try to grab these trees. There we go. There we go, a little better income this time. Burning activates faster, obviously awesome. Definitely take Lucky Charm here, and then elemental damage is what we want. Here, I've already got quite high lifesteal, and I like the attack speed boost. I think I'm going to look for defensive stats, dodge, and stuff like that. Armor would also be good, but I think I'd like to start boosting my dodge. Flamethrower 4. I don't think going to 3 flamethrowers is still fitting the spirit of the challenge, so I'm going to sell this level 2 flamethrower and just buy the level 4. Let me check the damage output. So 13k on the level 3 flamethrower, 18k on the nuke launcher, and then actually 6k on the level 4 taser, which is more than I was expecting. These are really pulling their weight. Snake, excellent. Propeller hat, great. And do I want to grab this? Nah, we've already got 19% lifesteal. I'll just pass. I am going to take the pumpkin, and I'm actually going to buy glasses as well. It's a little inefficient, but range is still just really good on this character, I think. Range is really good in general with Flamethrower because it has 100% pierce. So increasing the range also increases like the cleave damage from Flamethrowers. We've actually got enough damage output that the flamethrower base damage is 2. That's exciting. My prediction is that the comments here are going to be evenly split between people being really mad at me for taking the nuclear launcher, and people saying, and people who would have been really mad if I hadn't taken the nuclear launcher. Let me continue to upgrade this, and piercing, and roll. More enemies, great. Lemonade, great. Keep rolling. I will take Sift's Relic, because we are not going into the last wave. Even though this does not have a lot of use for this build, it's just a fun item, and we do have double cute monkeys, so it has some synergy. I think if you were building purely for power, you wouldn't take this, because it's going to cost me 2 regeneration from the fairy, and we already have huge pickup radius, so we don't really need it, but it's just a really fun item. And then, of course, we're going to take the blindfold. Also, of course, if you want to balance out the people who are irritated about my nuclear launcher choices, whether positive or negative, it's always helpful when you leave comments. Helps a ton with the algorithm. The more comments, likes, and so on a video gets, dislikes as well, actually, the more YouTube is likely to recommend it. So I really appreciate everyone who takes the time to do that. I should also mention, although I'm not a huge fan of shilling like this, but I need to get better about mentioning it, that there are now super thanks and channel memberships available. So if you've really been enjoying this stuff, found these guides helpful, and want to leave a tip, you can do that. And obviously I'd be extremely grateful to anyone who did. Alright, let me grab this max HP and some armor. I'm going to pick up the Sift's Relic and Scared Sausage we finally found. So that's really fun. Just help us spread the fire around. And Scared Sausage plus Nuclear Launcher is especially fun, because that's gonna spread that around everywhere. Ooh, Baby with a Beard is also good, because I believe these can spread the Scared Sausage fire as well. So even though it doesn't do any damage itself, it's going to help proc our fire. So let's go to wave 18, and then we can add that in. This is one of the harder elites for a soldier to fight, because it moves away from you. And so it's quite hard for you to stay focused on it. Although standing still is the right way to dodge all of its attacks, as you can see. We just reposition whenever one of its random projectile spawns happens to be under us. And there we go. And of course the defensive stats on this build are so high that we're not usually in a ton of danger from anything. It's really nice that we were able to get these defensive stats so high, because Soldier has so much native damage output, so you can focus more on buying defensive stats. And it's got... we were able to build so much harvesting early, so we had quite a lot of money. I am going to buy the shackles. I wouldn't mind being able to increase my speed more, but the regeneration is good, and the range, like I said, is actually very valuable to this build. And Cape is maybe one of the better things, like one of the best things we could find. Obviously, losing 2 elemental damage is painful, but dodge is one of the few stats that we don't have at a super high level at this point, so that will help a lot. Obviously, I find this as soon as I've already capped my speed, but that's okay. I'm just going to buy more dodge, try to get that to 60. Let me grab the Baby with a Beard here, and then now that we have Scared Sausage, landmines are more appealing, but I think we can do better. I'm just going to reroll this again. I'm going to buy elemental damage, of course. More armor. Yeah, this will still be good for my effective HP. This will let me upgrade to another level 4 flamethrower, which will be really nice. We'll buy this. And just for fun, because we're a soldier, and we've actually been having some success with it, I'm going to buy a boxing glove. I don't think this is the right way to, win with this build, but when do you get to buy a boxing glove and have it even be slightly good? Very rarely, so yeah, I'm just taking the opportunity to do that. So I'm keeping an eye out to see if the baby with a beard projectiles set anyone on fire. It's kind of hard to see. I think I saw one over here. At this point, I'm not really watching my character because we kill everything so fast. I'm just trying to... Okay, yeah, so there was one. I saw one baby with a beard projectile set an enemy on fire. It doesn't seem to be happening at 25%, and I actually have long thought that the scared sausage percentage was maybe broken. Because stuff like landmines really seems like it should be setting enemies on fire way more than it does. So I wonder if, like, certain AoE abilities, it's only rolling once when it should be rolling several times or something like that. Sure, we've got explosion size, so let's take the explosive shells here and bloody hand. Well, I avoided dying to the weird ghost by buying this earlier, by not having bought this earlier, but now I'm very happy to buy it, and our lifesteal is actually really high, so it's going to do a ton of damage. And then here I can basically cap out our dodge, which is awesome. Upgrade our flamethrowers to level 4, get some attack speed, roll again. I'd have liked to upgrade these tasers a little more, but we kind of stopped seeing taser. Yeah, I'll buy a tentacle. Crit chance on our nuclear launcher at least is going to be good. Keep rolling. Ah, here we go. Taser upgrades. Let's buy this one. Wasn't able to buy both of them, but that's still fine. Actually, if I sell this... No, I still can't afford it. I could sell a flamethrower for the other taser just to finish with lots of tasers, but I think I'm just going to roll. We'll buy a boxing glove. That's another on-theme item. Alright, and let's try to fight these bosses. So the bosses are actually pretty hard for Soldier if you don't have tons of damage output, because when you stand still, if you don't have like tons of burst damage, because they will actually do a lot of damage to you if you have to stand still. Usually soldiers are going to rely on just having overwhelming damage at this point in the game. But our build, of course, is an elemental build, which means our damage is dealt somewhat slowly over time. Or a flame elemental build. Obviously, like lightning daggers and thunder swords and stuff can be burst damage elemental builds, but the fire builds do damage somewhat slowly over longer periods of time. I like watching how much this guy slows down when we've got Ugly Tooth and we hit him with the tasers and everything. Normally this boss is super fast in this stage. Alright, there we go. So that was Taser Soldier. We ended up with some super high level flamethrowers and a nuke launcher, which was really fun. Great regeneration, great lifesteal, so the defensive stats on this build really came together. And yeah, that was actually way more fun than I was expecting, and better than I was expecting the Taser Soldier to be. I thought this was going to be a pretty hard run, but it actually ended up being not that difficult. The trick with buying hands and pruners early to boost our support tag as quickly as possible really worked out well. So I'm glad I remembered to do that, and definitely one that you can use in your own games for any support builds that you're going. Just max out that tag as quickly as possible, and then if you have a specific weapon in mind, just replace the ones that aren't that one. And yeah, that's the video. So as always, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this Brotato Danger 5 random run. We are now on a 4-win streak, feeling pretty good about this one, and I will catch you next time. Cheers, my friends. GG.